The forest was serene, the air humming with life. As Buddha sat under the towering Bodhi tree in meditation, disciples gathered around him, seeking wisdom and solace. The eldest brother spoke first, his words sharp and filled with frustration as he claimed the ancestral land as his own. The younger brother countered, his tone bitter, arguing that he had invested more effort and deserved the inheritance. The Buddha listened quietly, his gaze steady, as the brothers continued their heated exchange, each blaming the other for the discord. After their voices subsided, the Buddha spoke with calm authority, addressing them both with compassion and insight. The earth you quarrel over, he said, has existed long before your forebears and will endure after you are gone. He gestured toward the roots of the banyan tree sprawling beneath them, unseen yet essential for the tree's strength. But, Master, Ananda said, the river is bound by its banks. Doesn't it fear being lost beyond its boundaries? Buddha smiled, his expression filled with compassion. It is a trust. His voice was steady, yet carried the weight of ancient wisdom. A trust meant to nourish the bonds between family, just as the roots feed this tree. To sever that trust is to weaken the foundation of love. To cling is illusion. Impermanence governs all existence, and freedom arises from acceptance, Buddha explained. He looked at the lush fields nearby, their crops swaying under the gentle breeze. Let me tell you a story. Protect it wisely. The younger brother bowed his head, his anger faltering as he reflected on the Buddha's words. But how can we protect it, Master, when we cannot agree? The Buddha walked toward the tree and beckoned them to follow. He touched the bark, the skin of the enduring banyan tree, and said, in harmony lies strength. Just as these roots intertwine to support this tree, so must you. The villagers gathered, drawn by the unfolding lesson, their murmurs filling the air like rustling leaves. The Buddha turned to the crowd and spoke with clarity that resonated deeply. This dispute is not unique, nor confined to these brothers. It is a mirror of conflicts that tear families apart. His words carried both challenge and hope, igniting an awakening in the hearts of all present. To seek possession is to invite division. To seek unity is to preserve what truly matters. He invited the brothers to sit beneath the banyan tree and led them through a meditation of reflection and compassion. He instructed them to visualize their father, his hands weathered from toil, his eyes filled with love for his sons. See not the wealth he left behind, but the values he instilled within you. These are treasures no conflict can steal. The brothers closed their eyes, their breath steady, as they followed the Buddha's guidance. The eldest brother imagined his father's laughter as they worked the fields together, his teachings about perseverance and integrity. Look at the sunset, its beauty lies in its transience. The Buddha saw the shift within them and smiled gently. Now, my sons, what do you see when you look at one another? The eldest brother, his voice soft and humbled, said, I see my brother as my partner, not my rival. Its fleeting nature makes it precious, and so it is with all things, Ananda. Value arises from impermanence. Embrace it, and peace will follow. This earth can be shared, just as your father's love was shared between you. Division need not mean separation. Ananda bowed deeply, his heart lightened, a profound sense of understanding illuminating his face. Buddha's teachings resonated within the group. The Buddha stood silently, his mission fulfilled. As the banyan tree cast its serene shadow over the scene, the brothers resolved to care for the land together, ensuring its prosperity for generations to come. As the Buddha prepared to leave, the brothers and villagers bowed in gratitude, their hearts filled with newfound unity. The eldest brother said, Master, you have taught us that true inheritance is not wealth, but wisdom and love. Buddha walked among the disciples, his steps deliberate, his presence calming. Yashodhara, an elderly woman, approached Buddha, The banyan tree became a symbol of unity and harmony, its roots deep and unbroken, thriving in the soil of shared understanding. The brothers tended the land as partners, planting seeds of hope and compassion that flourished beyond their lifetime. Buddha stopped and turned his kind gaze toward her. Yashodhara, fear is born from attachment. The father held a golden bowl, weathered yet luminous, a treasured heirloom passed down through generations of his lineage. His children had begun quarreling over it, each claiming the right to inherit this cherished possession when the time came. The father, troubled by the discord growing among his children, approached the Buddha with a heavy heart and said, "Master, this bowl binds my family, yet it tears them apart. How can I restore harmony?" The Buddha observed the children, their expressions guarded, each unwilling to relinquish their claim to the golden bowl. He addressed the father with a calm demeanor, saying, "Bring your children and the golden bowl to the clearing. Let us reflect together on this matter." The father complied, gathering his children and presenting the bowl, its surface gleaming faintly in the afternoon light. The Buddha held the bowl aloft, turning it gently so its golden surface caught the sun's rays. "This bowl is but a vessel," he began, "forged by hands long departed and touched by years unseen." He set the bowl on the ground and looked at the children, his gaze both serene and penetrating. Its true worth lies not in its shine, but in the stories and values it carries within. One of the children, the eldest, stepped forward and said, "Master, this bowl represents our family's history. I have the right to inherit it." Another child, the youngest, countered, "But I have cared for it the most, ensuring its preservation. Surely, it belongs to me." The Buddha raised his hand gently, signaling them to pause, and their voices fell silent. He placed the bowl in the center and addressed them all, saying, "This bowl, heavy with its legacy, is too precious to tear apart with discord." The Buddha gestured to the father and said, "Tell us the story of this bowl, so we may understand its journey through your family." The father began to speak, recounting tales of ancestors who had valued the bowl not for its material worth but for the harmony it symbolized. The children listened, their earlier tension softened by the richness of their father's narrative and the wisdom it conveyed. The Buddha then instructed the children to lift the bowl together, each grasping it firmly but carefully. "Lift this bowl as one," he said, "for it requires unity to bear the weight of its legacy." As they lifted the bowl, their hands met, and they felt the weight not only of the object but of their shared responsibility. The Buddha smiled and said, "Do you see? This bowl remains steady when you lift it together. Alone, it falters." The children exchanged glances, their expressions tinged with both realization and resolve. The Buddha continued, "This golden bowl is but a symbol of something far greater. Its essence is unity and care." Buddha turned to the disciples. "Connections weave life's fabric." The eldest child, humbled by the experience, spoke first, "Master, I understand now. The value of this bowl is not in possessing it, but in preserving its meaning together." The youngest, tears glistening in their eyes, added, "We have been blind to its true worth, which lies in the bonds it represents." The Buddha nodded, his voice calm yet firm. "Let this be a lesson. Wealth and possessions are fleeting. What endures is the harmony they inspire." He turned to the father and said, "Your task now is to guide your children in nurturing these bonds, so they may flourish." The father, filled with gratitude and relief, bowed deeply and said, "Master, your wisdom has lifted the burden from my heart. My family is united again." The Buddha placed his hands together in a gesture of blessing and said, "May this unity grow strong, like a tree with deep and unbroken roots." The villagers, who had gathered to witness the unfolding lesson, murmured among themselves, their hearts stirred by the Buddha's words. The golden bowl became not a source of contention but a symbol of reconciliation and shared purpose. The family resolved to keep the bowl in a central place, cared for by all, a reminder of the wisdom they had gained, as the Buddha prepared to leave. The father and his children bowed once more, their expressions radiant with newfound harmony. The Buddha spoke one final time, his voice carrying the weight of timeless truth. Remember, the greatest inheritance is not wealth or artifacts, but the love and wisdom passed from one generation to the next. Solitude is the lamp for the soul, Buddha explained, but, Master, solitude feels isolating, like a void swallowing my thoughts, Rahul said, his fear evident in his expression. Another day, another journey. The Buddha arrived in a village divided by disputes over fertile fields and their rightful ownership. The villagers had been feuding for years, each family staking claims to the richest soil for their own gain. As he walked through the village, the Buddha observed fields overgrown with weeds, neglected due to unending quarrels and resentment. The elders approached the Buddha, bowing deeply, and pleaded, Master, our people are torn apart by these disputes. Please help us. The Buddha gathered the villagers at the edge of the fields, where the boundaries between ownership had caused countless arguments. He addressed the crowd, his voice calm but carrying the strength of conviction. These fields do not belong to you. They belong to the earth. The villagers murmured among themselves, some angered by his words, others intrigued by the truth they sensed in them. A young farmer, his brow furrowed with frustration, stepped forward and said, Master, how can we survive without securing what is ours? These fields are our livelihood. The Buddha looked at the young farmer with compassion and replied, What you sow here can feed your bodies, but what you sow within can nourish your souls. He gestured to the fields and asked, Do these fields flourish in division, or have your disputes left them barren? The villagers fell silent, their gazes shifting to the unkempt land, a testament to their discord and neglect. The Buddha walked to the center of the fields and knelt, taking a handful of soil in his hands. This soil has nurtured life for generations, he said, yet it asks for nothing in return. It serves without complaint. He let the soil fall through his fingers, watching as the wind carried it away. Buddha addressed the disciples, his voice resonating across the serene forest, Do not fear solitude. Embrace its light and wisdom. To heal these fields, you must first heal yourselves. Let go of the need to claim and learn to share. The Buddha proposed a plan that challenged their long-held notions of ownership and competition. He said, Work these fields together, pooling your efforts and resources for the good of all. Share the harvest with gratitude. The villagers hesitated, their minds wrestling with fear of loss and the unfamiliarity of unity. The Buddha continued, Consider the trees of the forest, they stand apart, yet their roots intertwine beneath the surface. Supporting one another, he led them in a meditation, guiding them to visualize the fields as a source of life and sustenance for all. He said, Imagine these fields teeming with crops, their bounty shared with joy and without resentment. Feel the peace this brings. As the villagers meditated, they felt a sense of connection and responsibility growing within them, a seed planted by the Buddha's wisdom. When they opened their eyes, the Buddha asked, Now, what do you see when you look at these fields? The young farmer, his expression softened, said, I see land that can unite us, not divide us. Together, we can make it flourish. The elder nodded and added, I see the futility of our arguments. We have wasted time that could have been spent in harmony. The Buddha smiled, his eyes reflecting the light of understanding, and said, Harmony is the true wealth you will leave for future generations. Protect it as you would the soil. The villagers agreed to work the fields as a community, setting aside their disputes to create a collective harvest that benefited all. They established a system of shared labor and equitable distribution, ensuring that no family went hungry. As the fields began to bloom under their united efforts, the Buddha reminded them of the lesson they had learned. Just as these crops grow from seeds, so too does unity grow from the seeds of compassion and understanding. The villagers bowed deeply, their hearts filled with gratitude and determination to uphold the wisdom they had received. The fields flourished, their bounty shared not only within the village but also with neighboring communities in need. Breathe deeply, for each breath anchors you to the present and calms the storm within. His advice, though simple, resonated deeply, offering a practical guide amidst the overwhelming vastness. Master, another disciple inquired, what if the journey feels endless, and the destination remains unseen? The Buddha turned, gesturing to the horizon where the desert seemed to meet the sky. Do not be fixated on the destination, he said, his tone unwavering. Thank you for watching. Buddha's teachings are always with you. Subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next video.